Thank you for watching Meatsauce Monty. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. You get everything you wanted?
I always do, yeah. Santa always comes through.
Do you go shopping for yourself?
Yeah.
Do you? So
Yeah.
Christmas, do you wrap, or do you like,
No,
you get it when you want it, and yeah.
Wrapping is one of my many qualities that I've done so poorly no one asked me to wrap. When I was married, I would simply take all my gifts to my sister-in-law's house, find the smallest thing, pretend to wrap it, make sure my ex-mother-in-law was watching, and she'd look at me and go, "You know how to wrap?"
Yeah.
No? Then she'd do it all.
Then she'd take over.
This year, I just bring it, and my mom did
Yeah.
it. I'm horrible at it. I don't, there's a lot
Really?
of husbandy things I don't have somebody to do it for, but that I'm not good at.
You are such an interesting guy.
Yeah, I don't
The
wrap
things
presents.
you're like,
yeah,
I don't
no.
wrap presents.
I don't mow the lawn.
Yeah,
no.
you got all those things that you don't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty sweet gig.
Yeah, it is.
It's our New Year's edition show. We're not really going to talk too much New Year's stuff, but for our YouTube show we will. So got to put that tease out there. Follow us on YouTube. We have our own channel. Here's a teaser. Next week, our last week of the year, Wild Card Weekend, Ben Lieber is going to be our guest. Ben Lieber, a close personal friend of yours?
Yeah, Ben Lieber is one of my very good friends.
Is he a workout buddy? I can tell you've slimmed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, I can tell.
Yeah, Ben Lieber is one of the best guys on the planet, very
Yeah.
genuine human being. I'm excited to have him on next week's show.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do our picks at the end of the show. Wild Card Weekend will include the Vikings.
Yeah.
You want to talk some football?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Vikings win and in. I think we've heard that enough this week. You like that phrase? You think it's appropriate?
I think,
Do you have any
Win
dirty
and in,
jokes?
No.
You just liked winning
no,
in?
not for
Not
10
for Sunday
a.m. on
morning?
a Sunday, no. But
All right.
yeah, they have to. This
Yeah.
is this is one of the biggest games in a long time for the Vikings because there are a lot of question marks. We saw it 2 years ago, Kirk Cousins in the exact same situation with Washington, and he couldn't do it.
Correct.
They lost to a Giants team that had zero to play for.
He didn't take
He
his
couldn't
blue
do
chew
it.
chewables.
He didn't. Maybe he did.
He wasn't
I don't
up
know.
for the
He
task.
does have 2 kids, one on the way. Maybe he did.
Really? Maybe.
Yeah. But
Todd's
we haven't seen him do it. So are we going to see it today? Are we going to see him get things rolling and not crumble? I mean, he's been really bad when it comes to pressure situations. He was horrible in Seattle.
Yeah.
He wasn't very good in New England. He wasn't good in Chicago. So these big-time, prime-time games, he hasn't done very well in. So
well, today is
we'll
technically they got flex.
Yeah, they got
midday,
flex,
but it's at home.
Yeah, and he's better at home. Plus, the defense is good at home.
Yeah.
And technically,
they get help from the crowd.
Chicago's got, I don't know, about a 25% chance, if less, to get that 2 seed. I mean, who do the Rams play?
The 49ers. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show.
No.
Let's rewind the tape just a little bit. Last week, Vikings 27-9 win in Detroit. However, it was a super slow start. They were down 9-0.
Slow, yeah.
Not a single first down in the first quarter. Were you nervous?
Or
did you think there's plenty of game and they're just...
I thought it's so weird because I get that team has nothing to play for. I get it's a division game. But we've seen time and time again where they just look like when they came out of the bye, they looked the same way. Like, were they
slow?
Did they forget they were playing?
Yeah.
Like, did they forget that they have this game to play? And then all of a sudden, that Hail Mary to Kyle.
Yep.
Got him rolling. But the first half, I mean, what are they, 4 yards?
Oh, I don't even remember. It was
something that bad.
It was very bad.
Very bad.
I think they had more punts than yards in the first quarter.
And they took them a while to get going. But once they got going, they beat a bad team. And, you know, the defense, 9 points is all they gave up. They didn't give up a touchdown.
Right.
I mean, the Lions are horrible. They're going to finish dead last in the division. But they held them to 9 points on the road. So this defense has found its swagger.
Yep.
Can the offense match it? In the second half, they did. They were lights out in the second half.
Absolutely. Kyle Rudolph, your buddy, career best, 9 receptions, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. That Hail Mary. It's like Detroit almost thought, because that was a little tricky. They thought the first half ended, then they put 2 seconds back on the clock. We got to throw it, but Detroit was checked out there. But Rudolph made that play. I mean, he boxed his man. It was like basketball. He boxed his man out, had position, went up, made it look very, very easy.
It was great because the Lions gave literally zero effort.
Yeah.
They didn't. Half the team didn't even jump.
Yeah.
I saw Kyle the next day, and I said to him, I go, did they even try? And he's like, well, yeah, but I'm like, they didn't even
one guy did.
They didn't even move.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't care. But that's a sign of the end of the season.
Yep.
That's guys
Vacation
who are
plans.
who are going to be in the Bahamas in a week from today. And
Vikings
what do
fighting
they
for
care?
playoffs. Those guys had nothing to worry about.
There's nothing to worry about. You just don't want to get hurt.
Dalvin Cook, 100-plus yards in 2 straight games for the first time in his career. Those are all-purpose yards. He's got 209 rushing, 62 receiving. Is this more with Stefanski? Is it his health? Is it just he's coming at the right time, where now he's become more of a weapon and he's a little bit more versatile than what Latavius Murray was at the beginning of the season, just running
I think it's, excuse me, I think it's the perfect combination. I think it's everything that you've said.
Well, thank you.
He's healthy. The offensive coordinator likes to use him, and he has, the coach loves him, and the coach wants him to touch the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He could be a huge weapon in these playoffs. I think it's a combination of everything. It also helps that he's back to his speed and everything that he was back in Florida State, where he was dominant in college, and it's good to see. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully, they could ride him, and he could be very, very, very good for them if they can get into the playoffs and be that weapon where they can control the offense against teams whose offenses do damage when they're on the field. They need him to be big this next couple of weeks.
Which is what they'll be facing if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're going to have a real tough run. Rushing, they had against the Bears the first time they played them, 14 runs for just 22 yards. Now they've got Stefanski.
Yep.
I would assume that we could expect to see a little bit more of that this afternoon.
I would assume they'll use a ton of screens. I would assume they'll use both those running backs. We'll probably see some C.J. Ham, some quick rhythm running.
Ham.
Just because you gotta keep that pass rush off. And their offensive line, are they up to the challenge? It's a huge thing to see if they're up to the challenge to face a team that is so dominant on defense. And if they can hold off that pressure, Chicago is a very beatable team.
Absolutely.
When you don't let them get the lead and you don't let them play to their strength. They're very fast-paced. They're a run and gun style defense and offense. But if you can get it, you can dictate the pressure. We'll see. A lot of good things can happen for the Vikings.
Quick question. I've heard analysts say, old-fashioned, you have to establish the run first to get the pass.
Yeah.
Against a team like the Bears with so much pressure up on front with Akeem Hicks and then Khalil Mack, those two alone with the pressure they bring, would it be, when you say the screens, do you do that just to throw them off so that they sit back a little bit and then try to establish the run? Or do you even have to try to establish the run against a team like this and just try to throw the ball on them all day?
I think you have to establish the run, because if that team thrives off making you one-dimensional, just like LA does, because of that pass rush they have with Donald and all those guys. Chicago does the same thing. If they can make you one-dimensional, they smoke you, because they get you into that shotgun. They get the quarterback who doesn't like to run moving around, and they get after you. If you make them one-dimensional, where they have to come after the run, you can beat them pretty bad.
Yeah. What you were saying, Kirk Cousins has shown those games you were talking about. If we become one-dimensional, he's the quarterback that doesn't scramble, doesn't handle pressure in the pocket real well, has to find those dump downs or else a turnover.
Right, and they are very good on defense, so he's going to have to play a perfect game.
You like what Zimmer said, that the playoffs have started already for the Vikings in the presser?
Yeah, I like that mentality.
I do too.
I like that.
It has.
They have to win. If they could win 4 games, if they could win 4 straight, they'd go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That has to be your mentality. And I know this is
got to get hot.
Super homer take, but if they get in, a lot of people who aren't in this area and in the media here have said the same thing. They're a tough out if you have to play them. I think Chicago's one and done. I also think the Rams are going to be one and done.
Wait. We're not doing our picks yet, but if you're saying Chicago's one and done, you're predicting a Vikings win.
I think anybody who at
Philly,
Soldier
Field,
I think if Philly
you're a week
played
ahead.
them, I think they're a one and done team.
I like it.
Your quarterback has never played in a playoff game.
Yeah,
that's huge. Now I don't think Cousins has won a playoff game, but everybody else in that team has been in that situation, and that'll help. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. I like you give it all away, and then you're like, but we'll get to that later.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk
People
Cousins.
may tune in later.
Yeah, they might, and then watch us on YouTube.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Kirk Cousins, the butterflies, saying that it's like in high school. No, okay, I like the guy. But when he said it's like a high school math teacher saying you're going to have a pop quiz and it gave him butterflies, that's one of the cheesiest quotes I think I've ever heard.
I think he's just a super cheesy guy.
Yeah? You think he's really that way?
Yeah. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
He's not just throwing that one out there?
I know he's that way. I think a couple people that I've talked to will say he's that way.
Really?
He's really milquetoast. He is what he is.
You going to go golfing with him in the off season? You're going to try to work that angle?
Yeah, I'd take him to Golden Valley Country Club if he'd join me.
You should.
Yeah.
That's a good.
But I think he's just who he is. I think everybody went to high school with that guy, the religious guy that's really good at sports, and you're like, is this guy too nice? No, that's just who he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think. But he always says cheesy stuff like that.
Yeah, I just thought that was so cheesy.
But he doesn't get too high or too low. I like that about him. You never see him except in those kind of cheesy pregame.
Well, the dead arm and the talking to people.
But he's a dad of 2 kids or 1 kid with one on the way. I mean, he'd be the guy that would help you mow the lawn if you needed. You know, he's that kind of guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a good dude.
All right.
I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's. It is who he is. Yeah.
Well, NFL game winning in the playoffs is similar to a high school math test. Those butterflies.
Well, what did you want him to say?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm not saying I want him to say anything. I'm just asking you if you thought it was cheesy or if
everything he says is
thought
cheesy.
it was a bit.
Everything he says is cheesy. Even when they win, you're like,
all right,
dude, what?
Okay. The whole driving grandma's minivan, I guess.
Yeah,
so it's not a bit.
That's
legit.
who he is. Yeah,
That's who he is.
He's the kind of guy that would box you out in a YMCA basketball game and then pick you up when he knocked you over.
Yeah,
he's
say good game.
Guy. Yeah,
that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky. It's his second year. He's got 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions so far this year. Last game we played, he had 10 rushes for 43 yards, which was his season high. Is he that single read guy that in our game, once he couldn't get it, tuck and run?
Yep.
How do we approach that differently this game?
I think you have Anthony Barr spy him, even though
you do think if
43
it's a spy,
yards is his career high.
Season high. I think they said season high, or was it career high? Season high.
Either way,
year.
I thought it'd be way more than that.
43 yards. Well, he's such a good runner, according to Zimmer.
Well, sometimes they make him sound like he's the next Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, well, that game we made him look that way.
I think what they do is they'll put a spy on him, whether it's Barr or having Kendricks back, which he hasn't practiced much this week at all.
Injury.
When we taped the show, but
correct.
He's so one-dimensional that everyone who knows way more about it than I do, and everyone who I've talked to about it this week has all said he's the most beatable quarterback that he'll be in the playoffs.
Yep.
But their weakest link is him.
Yeah.
He gets to play with the lead a lot. The defense puts him in a ton of short yardage situations. And 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions
picks.
Isn't phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a 2-to-1, isn't it?
But you know, I mean, whatever. He's one read and then run.
Yep.
And if you could take down that one read and then you know that he's going to run, I mean, the problem is the Vikings just can't get behind.
Sure.
They can't get behind and let this defense, as I said earlier, do what they do.
Yeah. Matt Nagy. It's been talked about. He talked to Chicago and said he might pull the starters, might do some scoreboard watching, because really all they're playing for, LA has to fall to San Francisco, and then if the Bears were to win, they get a bye. Of course they would want that. Odds are, we're just saying they have to play the game. It's obviously not on paper, but if LA has a big lead early, do you think Nagy's watching that and goes into halftime and says he's going to pull him? Everybody's talking about it. He said, because then you're playing kind of that cat and mouse game of saying they control who they play. If they want the Vikings to be eliminated, they have to try to beat us and then hope that Philly wins. If they want to play us, they could say, we play you, you're in the division, we're going to bow to you, you guys win this one, we're going to face you next week at our place, and we can control you. We're more familiar with you than we are Philadelphia, and Philadelphia, quite honestly, might be hotter. I mean, we're okay, but you know, the Nick Foles, all that stuff. I'm just saying Chicago has the upper hand in this situation, even if they give up the game.
Yeah, and I also think, though, that it could also, 2:30 today or whenever the inactives come out, 1:30 I think it is.
Yeah.
It could be Khalil Mack, Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, they sit them all.
And
they
right.
could. They might.
Because is the game in L.A.?
I believe they're played at the same time. They're both afternoon games.
Yeah, they're both
so
afternoon games. But what I would do is if I'm the public announce guy, every time there's a TV timeout or a break, I say over the loudspeaker exactly what's happening in the LA game. Because the problem is LA they beat up a bad Cardinals team. San Francisco isn't horrible. They haven't played bad. Plus, they could get in the mentality where, this is our playoffs. If we beat you, you're the third seed.
Right.
You don't get unless the top two seeds win, you're not going to get a home NFC championship game.
On the road.
But you could also see them going in LA going, well, Gurley's not going to play. Why would he play? Didn't play last week. And, I don't know. It'll be an interesting way.
Could be tricky.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle the whole
All right,
thing.
let's take care of some business here. Pints and Pigskins, Thursdays to Sundays all season long from noon to 6. Throw your best spiral. You could get $25 free slot play. If you are the season highest single-day scorer, $10,000 in free slot play. Game day pick and play. You got to be here 7 to 11:45 a.m. Sundays all season long. Get in the game. Come to Mystic Lake or Little Six to make your picks. Tomorrow night, New Year's Eve, December 31st, from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., the Glow Pop-Up Ultra Lounge right here at Mystic Lake Grand Ballroom. You get to party like it's 2019. My goodness, the new year. Third Eye Blind with special guest Step Rockets. They're also coming here 8 p.m. in the Mystic Showroom. See that show here on New Year's Eve. Okay,
sweet.
We're going to do a quick buzz around the league.
All right.
Almost like picks. You can talk about it if you want. Philadelphia at Washington.
Philly wins big.
Which puts the pressure.
Washington has nothing to play for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis-Tennessee game. That's probably the most interesting of the week.
That's the Sunday night
That's
game,
the Sunday
right?
night NBC. It's the win and in. Andrew Luck, career stat, he's 10-0 against Tennessee. He's
Really?
never lost to Tennessee.
I did not know that.
So who do you think?
I'm going to go Indy, obviously.
You go Indy.
Yeah.
The Bengals are playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs to win to have a chance. Big Ben Roethlisberger, 33 touchdowns. It's a Steelers franchise record, but he has 15 interceptions, tied for the most in the NFL. Is this the end of Big Ben?
When I think Antonio Brown's been out, so I think Roethlisberger will retire.
You think he's done?
Yeah.
Hanging her up.
I think he will. I think if the Chargers win the Super Bowl, I think Rivers will.
Philip Rivers will retire?
And I would assume the Giants will talk Eli into retiring.
Force him into it.
Yeah.
7-7-1 Cleveland Browns taking on the 9-6 Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, a lot of people are saying, are the hottest team. Rookie quarterback Lamar Jackson, 5-1 as a starter since taking over for Joe Flacco.
And the beauty of that game is it's the first pick in last year's draft and the last pick in the first round. The two quarterbacks. So Ravens will destroy them.
You think they'll destroy him? All right. That's around the league. Any other games that you would pay attention to?
Who do the Pack
Rams.
play? We don't care about
we don't
that.
care. We don't talk about the Packers on this show. This is a Vikings show.
Okay.
No Packers talk unless we're playing the Packers.
Yeah. I hope they win.
Thank you.
I hope they win just so they get a worse draft pick.
Yeah, you don't want to. You want to get further away from a good pick.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else. The Rams game, the Rams will win.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
One of my favorite segments, because obviously we do Thursday Night Lights here at Mystic Lake, so Thursday night is our show. So we don't get to talk Gophers and your close personal friend PJ Fleck.
Yeah.
But now that the Quick Lane Bowl is done, we can talk about the season and we can talk about the Quick Lane
Can't
Bowl.
wait.
Aren't you excited?
Absolutely.
34-10 win. 34-10 win over Georgia Tech. Your thoughts on the performance of the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit?
I think it was unbelievable, even though my Comcast didn't work very well.
Oh, so you didn't get to watch any of it?
I watched some of it.
Online?
Yeah.
After you hit your video limit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, my dad and brother were there.
Oh,
but after they
well, that's
left,
awkward.
Yeah. I thought they were really, and I know I hammer on them a lot. But
yes, you do.
It was good for them, man. Those kids that have been in this. I mean, as PJ said after the game, and he's right. Some of these seniors have been through 3 head coaches.
Right. Tough situation for them.
He leads the team out on the field. There were 20 people there.
Yeah.
But
no, they said the attendance, I think, is the second highest in Quick Lane Bowl. That's only
did you
5 years old.
watch it?
Yeah, I watched the game.
There was no one there.
There was like 27,000 or something.
There no way.
The
there
main
were more
level.
people watching the show than were at that game. But
there's more.
good for
You
them.
mean here at Mystic or on TV?
Just in general.
Yeah, Mystic. Okay.
They beat a bad. The Georgia Tech looked from that
They
first
did look
drive.
terrible.
You're like,
yeah.
And I talked to somebody who knows a lot about both teams, and he said a lot of the guys on Georgia Tech didn't want to be there.
They just gave up.
They thought they deserved a better bowl. They thought they'd go somewhere else.
Well, then win big.
Their
Prove
coach
the critics
is,
wrong.
Well, their coach is like.
He's retiring, right?
But I think it was, we're going to fire you, so.
Show you the door one way or the other. Yeah.
We won't fire you. It was that kind of bit. But they looked awful, Georgia Tech did. But good win, good for those kids.
You feel good for the kids?
Yeah.
Red shirt freshman running back Mohamed Ibrahim, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the MVP of the game. On the season, 1,160 yards. Second best performance by a freshman in Gopher history. He passed Lawrence Maroney, but he was second to Darryl Thompson.
It was unbelievable.
He looked like Jerome Bettis. He was bouncing off people. He was running through people.
Yeah,
he hurt somebody right away.
Yeah. He played well, man. He's really good.
They could build on him. I mean, he's a freshman.
When their wide receiver core is really good as well.
That's right. That's junior wide receiver Tyler Johnson, 4 receptions, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the season, 78 receptions, which is second best all time behind Eric
And
Decker.
Bateman's super good.
He looks solid.
Yeah, he looks really good.
If you remember, you probably didn't watch a whole lot of Gophers, but early in the season, maybe the first 2 or 3 games, Tyler Johnson had the dropsies to start every game.
I watched every
right
game.
over the middle. He would hit them, it would drop.
Yeah.
He would have, he makes those catches. He passes Eric Decker easily. And those were against Fresno State and somebody, the ones that they've got wins.
I think they mentioned last night that he may go in the end. He could maybe be a 3rd round pick.
But don't stick around for your senior year.
Yeah, but if you're going to make that cash, always make money.
All right, so here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing. And everybody's forgot about it, just like we said. It was like a Friday news dump, the controversy with the Gophers that they said they would talk about. ESPN on the Quick Lane Bowl tried to cover it. They said, hey, there's 5 guys that aren't here tonight.
Yeah.
The Gophers spun it, and this is PR. 1 guy was suspended. 2 were sitting, and I won't name who they are because they're students. 2 were sitting out preparing for the NFL Combine, and 2 for undisclosed injuries. So there were up to 5 players that could have been a part of a I don't want to say scandal, but that could have been in trouble, team violation. But it gets hidden by the smoke screen of, they're preparing for the NFL Combine, or, they have an undisclosed injury. I just find that very convenient for Coach Fleck to say there's 1 fall guy, 1 player or players who he could hang it on and say, yep, that guy stayed home. You can say what you want, I'm just saying it's very convenient.
I hate to be mean.
You can be.
It's
our show.
You don't prepare for the NFL draft.
I know.
If you're going to be a 6th round pick.
Right. You show up at your bowl game and you dominate. Your stock goes up.
You play with the guys that you have gone through 3 coaches with.
Right.
Who have, you've been through the ups and downs. You play. If the guy, perfect example, the bowl game that was on Thursday, the Duke Temple game. The Duke quarterback might be the first quarterback taken. He played.
Yeah, there you go. You
the guy who's going to be
stock.
a 6th, 7th round pick who may make the team as a special team star. And of course, here's the other example. There are a bunch of guys who aren't going to play. Well, I know this is taped on a Thursday, but the guys how about all those guys at Clemson? Mm-hmm. Every time ESPN broke into the Quick Lane Bowl, so-and-so from Clemson, so-and-so from Alabama, so-and-so from Clemson aren't playing.
Yeah.
You think Saban and that guy hide? No.
Yeah.
They say.
Right.
I just don't get it.
It was a PR thing. It was a total PR thing.
But then it gets to the point where, you want to be their friends and not their coach.
Yeah.
A friend doesn't rat somebody out. A coach who has your best interest in mind, maybe ratting you out, in the long run will go, man, that was one of the biggest mistakes ever made. It was brought up on national TV. I just don't get what the benefit is. Yeah. And to say that these kids I hope Cashman is the next plays 10 years and makes a ton of money.
Sure.
It'll also be super funny when he goes undrafted.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't play with his buddies.
Right.
It's just
make memories the Quick Lane Bowl.
It's just a bull bleep way of not. You're covering up that you may have a problem, but we're just going to say, well, they were suspended.
Yep, I know. All right, let's take care of some more business. Brian McKnight, Friday, January 11th, 8 p.m. in the Mystic Showroom. Human Nature Jukebox, the ultimate playlist, live Sunday, January 13th at 8 p.m. here at the Mystic Showroom. If you like country, Dwight Yoakam, Saturday, January 19th at 8 o'clock. And then in the month of February, you got Tesla, The Price is Right live stage show, Thursday to Sunday, February 7th to the 10th.
Are you serious?
Oh, Price is Right is awesome. Grand Funk Railroad coming Saturday, February 3rd. Then into March, Cheap Trick and the Monkees with original members Michael Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz. The Monkees was a great TV show. Did you watch it as a kid?
No.
You didn't?
I'm not 105.
I'm only 3 years older than you, and I distinctly remember the Monkees. It was a solid TV show.
I never watched
Gilligan's Island?
No.
Brady Bunch?
No.
Anything that wasn't on Nick at Night or Disney Channel?
I've never gotten in any of those shows.
Really?
Common
So
Man
what did you
thinks
watch as a
Gilligan
kid?
Island is the greatest TV show of all time. I don't know, kid shows?
Yeah, so do you remember any of them?
Yeah, Double Dare.
Yeah,
Saved
Double
by
Dare
the
was
Bell,
solid.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Rugrats.
Okay.
No, what 4-year-old's watching Gilligan's Island and the Monkees?
I was.
No.
Adam's Family, The Munsters. What's the other one? Batman with Adam West. Solid
he died,
TV.
Right?
Yeah, he did. He did. Way to bring it down. All right, we got 2 minutes left. Would you rather? Let's get through Would You Rather. A couple quick ones. The Twins signed Nelson Cruz, 38-year-old, $14 million deal. He's a six-time All-Star, 37 home runs, 93 RBI. Would you rather that they spend the money on him or somebody else?
I like that guy.
Yeah.
I think he'll be decent. As long as, and of course everybody's like, well, it's the next Logan Morrison. Here we go again with that.
He's going to be better than that.
I hope so. And if he brings some pop to that lineup could.
They could use it.
Yeah. I just hate how every year with the Twins it's, well, they could be if this, and this happens. Why don't you just pay for some good talent?
You sound like Common Man.
Yeah.
Because that's if they had a starter pitcher, if they had a relieving pitcher.
Yeah.
If
they don't have any of that.
All right. Would you rather? Allianz Field in St. Paul says their first event is going to be April 13th as Minnesota United hosts New York. The game will be aired on ESPN. What would you rather do than be at that soccer game?
I don't know. Read my dad's eulogy. I don't know.
See, I put you on the spot for
I
a
don't
soccer
want to do
joke.
any of that. I don't know.
You would rather do anything.
I'd rather put my dog down. I don't want to do any of that.
All right. Oh, you got a boo there.
Oh,
wow.
I don't care.
1 minute left. On Wednesday, Marnie Gellner called the Timberwolves play-by-play game in Chicago. Overwhelming support on Twitter. Would you rather that the gender card not be played and that she just be recognized that she's talented and she deserved the job?
Of course, and she's really good.
She was solid.
She's really good. She's good at everything she does. She has a great sense of humor. She's a wonderful person. Yeah, the gender card sucks because it gets played all the time, but she's just good at her job.
She deserved it. She's good.
Yeah.
All right, we got a minute left. Picks. We pretty much already said which way we're leaning. Let's go. We'll start with the Philadelphia-Washington. Who do you think wins that one?
Philly.
Yeah, I think Philly. I think, like you said, Washington has nothing to play for.
Correct.
Philadelphia has everything. They'll probably let them have it. Bears at Vikings. Your thoughts?
Man, I think the Vikings win. I think this is this could be I think this is a make or break game for Kirk Cousins' career. I think if he has like a 3-interception, multi-sack game again and he looks bad, there could be some questions into was this the right move? It all comes down to this. No one thought it would. Everybody thought that they'd go 13-3 again, but that's not the way the NFL works.
That's right. Tough schedule.
They'll win. I think they win 31-21.
All right. You say 10? I'll say they win by about 7. I'll say 28-21.
Sweet.
All right. That's going to do it. Don't forget, go to meatsauceandmonty.com. We've got our podcast. We've got our YouTube page.
We've got
got Twitter. Todd has his own, that's something else, website.
Yeah, don't read that.
Don't read that. That'll get us in trouble. So, social media, find Meatsauce and Monty. Next week, Ben Lieber, Wild Card Weekend. We'll see you here next week.